Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my team selector ahead of the game against Watford tomorrow night at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. I don't feel it's an over-exaggeration or hyperbole to say that this is Chelsea's biggest game of the season. I think based on a number of reasons, having to bounce back after that really disappointing defeat and performance against West Ham on Wednesday night. Based on the timing of the game being, I think, an 8 o'clock kickoff, if I feel that it's Man United, Wolves and Leicester all win their games, Chelsea could be out of the top 4 in the table before we kick off against Watford, which is going to add extra pressure to it. But I feel just mentality-wise, the rapid rate of games, if Chelsea underperform and get a disappointing result again tomorrow night, I think it's going to be really difficult for the remainder of the season. So there needs to be a response, a positive response by this Chelsea side to go out there, perform well, score some goals and get some confidence back and get back on track in the race for Champions League qualification, because it still is in Chelsea's hands. And considering the form of a team like Leicester, Chelsea really need to get third place. We should be getting third place with the quality within our squad. Going into team news, Kovacic unfortunately is out for this game with an Achilles problem. He came off on Wednesday and I did see him limping a bit, and Frank Lampard confirmed unfortunately he is injured for this game and he could be out for the Crystal Palace game as well, which is a worry. And Tomori is still of course out. Hopefully he'll maybe be back next week. We're not entirely sure yet. So going into my team, and set piece defending obviously is the big concern about this. I read a really good piece by Liam Toomey in The Athletic about this that I definitely suggest you go and read, about Chelsea's crisis at set piece defending, really, because that's what it is, and it's been absolutely shocking all season. And how is Frank Lampard going to rectify that tomorrow to cut out those individual mistakes in Chelsea, get back on track by winning and actually have a solid and competent defensive display? I'm going to stick with 4-3-3. Willy Caballero, I think, should come in goal for Kepa based on the mistakes he made the other night. Frank's done this before. I think Caballero, being an experienced head, I think will come back in here and start the game. Back for Reece James, hasn't started in the Premier League since the resumption of football, but even though he hasn't performed at his best, I feel the physicality, the athleticism, the pace that Reece James can offer you on that right side, and fundamentally for me, the creativity of Reece James on his best day, crossing-wise, with the forward I'm going to play up front, I think Reece James can be a real game changer for Chelsea. And on his best day, that Leicester game and the brief cameo against Aston Villa wasn't Reece James at his best. For the majority of the time we've seen Reece James, he's been really impressive, and I hope that will be motivation for him to get back on track tomorrow if he starts. Back to, I feel, Andreas Christensen will start. I think you could have dropped any of that centre-back partnership the other night, but I think Christensen will keep his place. Alongside him, returning Kurt Zouma. Kurt Zouma aerially at set pieces is probably Chelsea's best defender currently. So to have him back, I think, can be essential maybe to help out in that area. And I just think, in terms, I've said this a lot of times, I think he's been Chelsea's probably most underrated defender this season. Yes, we've had a lot of problems defensively, but I want to see him back in the starting 11 tomorrow. And that means that Dave will start at left back. Yes, there's a problem with Chelsea being narrow in that area, but once again, I'm thinking defensively, and Marcus Alonso not tracking back for that final goal, I think there needs to be, it sounds extreme, but a punishment for that. And I think Frank Lampard, very much based on a meritocracy, I think will go this. He's done it before with Reece James and shifting Dave over to the left, which he can do. So I think that'll be my back four for the game. Midfield three, I think N'Golo Kante, I think played really well. I think the other night against West Ham, really helping to sustain attacks, cutting out, the chance for West Ham to counter. Of course, in the end, we did lose the game on a counter-attack, but I still feel Kante will start in that deeper defensive midfield role. In front of him, without Mateo Kovacic, I'm going to firstly go with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I thought it's the most positives I've seen Ruben since the return. Of course, still getting back to fitness, but I want to see the midfield partnership for me in front of Kante, of Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount. Mason Mount, for me, I think we miss his presence and energy and pressing whenever he's not in the team. Chelsea just lacks something when he's not there, and we saw it again the other night and saw the upturn in energy when he came off the bench, really. So I'd like to see Mason Mount. And Ruben, he may not get the start because of maybe his fitness levels and Ross Barkley maybe being favoured, but Ross Barkley we know can blow hot and cold in his form, and I really want to see Ruben back in his central midfield role and finding those spaces that he did a couple times against West Ham. I think is really encouraging in a game like this, where Chelsea are going to have to try and break down Watford. I think Ruben may find space where others can't, so I'm going to start Ruben Loftus-Cheek for the first time in central midfield since the Premier League resumption. Of course, we've seen him at left wing, but I feel he has to be playing in central midfield, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to give him that start. Right wing, Willian, he's been absolutely brilliant since the restart, scored some big goals for us, that amazing free kick the other night. He's brilliant at penalties, so he's definitely going to keep his place in the starting 11. And alongside him, it's obvious, isn't it? Christian Pulisic, Chelsea's best player absolutely mesmerising the other night. Him and Willian did not deserve to be on the losing side, and let's hope they can provide a bit more magic, because Christian Pulisic, just give Pulisic the ball and he can work his magic basically. But other players of course have to work as well and help out. It can't all be down to Christian Pulisic, but at the moment he looks in absolutely blistering form, so let's hope he can have an impact and score against Watford like he did in November once again. And up top I'm going to start Olivier Giroud instead of Tammy Abraham. Tammy just hasn't impressed me since the restart. I think he's really lacked presence and link-up play as well, sometimes being caught offside. So yeah, I'd rather have the presence of Olivier Giroud, who could potentially head in from a Reece James cross. So let's hope that could potentially happen tomorrow in the game. So Olivier Giroud, of course, scored against Aston Villa. I think played well against Manchester City in parts as well. So let's hope he can get a start once again and prove himself up top for Chelsea in what is going to be a massive game. So that is my team for the game tomorrow. Please let me know your lineups in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter at @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.